best. If this is your first time on the channel, you're highly welcome. This is the place where we separate the facts from the fiction, the science from the superstitions, and the concept from the misconceptions about African spirituality. Today, I am going to be talking about a very important topic, and this is why we must invest in African spirituality. Why should we invest in it? And what is the purpose for this? So this is going to be a very sad topic today because I want to throw light on some things that I have observed about the growth or the nature of African spirituality, the way it is being practiced today, especially in West Africa. I want us to talk about this today because it's very important that we know this. Our people say, na iron the sharp iron. A problem shared is half solved. So I believe many of us watching this channel are practicing spiritualists or practitioners or people that are interested in the subject. So for that, I thank you people for having interest in the subject, for giving it your time and attention that is much needed. So, being that as it's, we still need to go deeper. I have come to realize that one of the main problems affecting African spiritual practices today is suffering from a major lack of investments, especially financial investment and material investments is a major problem. If you see the way African spirituality is practiced today, you can say that it is practiced as if African spirituality is on a deathbed. It is sick. It's like somebody that is lying down in the hospital on admission, receiving all kind of resuscitations from the doctor, as in drips, as in being connected to a life support system, having been given all the necessary nutrients that's just to keep it alive. So African spirituality is it is not up to optimum capacity. It is not practiced by a lot of people. First of all, it is kind of dying. This is what I will say. It is dying. So why is it dying? It is dying because for hundreds of years it has been neglected, and this neglect started with the inception of colonization, with the inception of Islamic and especially Christian colonization. That is where this neglect started. In fact, the aim of Christianity is to destroy African spiritual practices, to destroy the knowledge, to wipe it out from the memory banks of the people, so that they will not know anything, and we just be dull. We'll just be 100% Christians. We not know anything. We'll just be like total mumu or novice. The essence is that they want we Africans to be caricatures of Europeans, the Western missionaries or mercenaries. Their aim is to eradicate our ancient spiritual knowledge and tradition and put theirs in our mind, in our brains, so to brainwash us to become caricatures of them. So since their inception into Africa, African spirituality has been under attack, and it is still under attack today. So for we to wake it up, or for we to be able to preserve it, we need to do some things that are very important. Okay, we need to revitalize it. How can we revitalize it? This is the things I'll be discussing here today with this my white paper that I have written all this down. I always have lots of white paper on this issue. So I have come to realize that it needs investment. When we say investment, what do we mean? It needs money. It needs a budget. If you notice African spirituality today, many people, many communities, many villages, there is no budget for the development of African spirituality. I will take an example from my village and many villages in Nigeria. When you come to Nigeria, you go to a town, you will see a lot of beautiful houses, modern houses. There we have everything, markets, police station, church, mosques, banks, businesses. You're going to see a lot of all these buildings, things that are necessary for life, for people to live with. But when you come to the place of their so-called shrine, their so-called African spiritual shrines, you will find out that that place that they have that shrine, it is the most underdeveloped part of that community. You probably see sometimes it is just a place that is demarcated with some plywoods or with some raffia palms or with just red and white cloths. It is underdeveloped. It is unkept. Anybody can walk in at any time of the day, take anything from that place, and they will leave. Animals can go in, mess up in the place, come out. It's like the villages, they don't build proper shrines because they don't think it is important to build proper shrines. So the places that they keep for their worship, their most holy places, are usually the most unkept places in this community. And it's not supposed to be like that. In time past, due to the events of constant migration, due to intertribal wars and slave trading, our people were used to moving from one place to another, running from captors, running from kidnappers that want to enslave them or sell them into slavery. So we have this constant migration by many tribes. That is when you come to West Africa, you see most villages that were building houses with mud. We didn't start with building houses with mud. We have been building houses with other materials, marbles, stone crafting, and what you call castles. We are the ones that invented castles for Europeans. But due to constant attack from Arabic slave traders, people have to be moving from place to place. Empires were created, empires was destroyed. We know about the Oyo Empire, how it was destroyed. We know about the Benin Empire too. Those guys were able to even build a moat around the city that is much larger than the Great Wall of China. But it still was destroyed. Well, we have a lot of things that happened to us in the past. Okay, so these things that happen have made people to forget about so many knowledge about African spirituality. So you find out that so many shrines are left unkept. There are places that you will see that the most minimum lack of care is given to these shrines. So with time, people have come to think that this is the way it was practiced. That is not the way it was practiced. If you check ancient Egypt, the Kemetic people and the Kushite people, you will find out that they have hundreds of temples. How many people know that Sudan have more than 250 temples that are still standing today, and Sudan predated ancient Egypt? They are the people from Sudan, from Kush, that went to ancient Egypt to build that civilization. So we are used to building temples. But what you find in West Africa now, people don't build temples anymore. Villages, they don't care. They only build these places that they call Ogwa, where they hold meetings to discuss village issues, people's welfare, quarrels, settle quarrels or disputes or share money or whatever they want to do. We don't care about our shrines. This is why a lot of young people today are running from African spirituality. They see it as something that is not progressive, something that does not, it's not modern. They see it as a fetish practice. They always see it looks fetish because the environment is always unkept. It's always dirty. It's always in a state of, in a general state of unbalance or of lack of equilibrium. Let me put it that way. So a lot of people, the only time they go to shrines is when they have problems. Maybe they have been going to church, or the church cannot solve the problem. They want to do a spell, or child is sick, they need herbal remedies, and they know that African spiritual practices are usually cheap. They go to meet native doctors. Apart from that time, nobody goes to the shrine for anything. Nobody even go to say, let me pay a visit to the priest to thank him, let me give him this food, give him this plantain, give him this these things to thank or dash him. Nobody remembers the native priests in Africa except when they have problem. That is why a lot of African traditionalists or practitioners, they are always hungry people. They are poor. Sorry to say this, but it's true. Because people don't remember them. And if you are a spiritualist, you will know this too. That as a spiritualist, people look down on you. They look them like people that are looking for money all the time. They are maltreated. Most times they are not respected. Many people from Africa, they look at me like that. There are some people that will contact me that they need help, but they will talk very arrogantly to me, like I am their boy, or like I'm somebody that is hungry, that they feel that they can just talk to me the way they like. I will always say yes because I need money from them. I've seen people talk to me like that. I know why they talk, because they have this notion that African spiritualists are poor people. They are always hungry and they will do anything for you as far as you give them money. This is a belief that many people in Africa have. This is due to the fact that so many African practitioners, native doctors, babalaos, they have been beaten by poverty to that level. They have been tortured by poverty to that level. So part of the reason many of them are running scam, they need money. When you go to them that you have a problem, they will try to multiply your problem so that they can get enough money from you as much as possible. So I won't blame them for doing that. Many of them are poor people. Many people are hungry. Many of them are hungry. They are dying. Part of the reason is that people don't remember them. I will ask all of you people that are on this channel, you watching this video, how many of you have ever gone to your village to visit your native priest once? How many of you have said, let me contribute ₦1 to just dash this guy? Or what have we done to even say we want to promote or develop African spirituality? Many practitioners have not even gone to this level yet to even think to this level. This thing I'm saying, they have not even think about it, that we need to invest in this practice. We need to develop it. We need to move it forward. They have not even think about this yet. I don't think you will find any community in Nigeria where they have a budget for African spirituality, a budget for many ESCO that say this money is for research and development into the study of African spirituality. We don't have that because many of them think that it is not important. This is why African spirituality is dying. For us to make it not to die, we need to actually invest in it. Okay, we need to give it time. We need to put money into it. So it is very, very important and imperative that we think about this and we start creating budgets for the research and development into African spirituality. If you are a spiritualist or you are somebody that is interested in this subject, or you are in any capacity, you are in a EXCO, a community youth development association, you are in any kind of board of executive that have to do with African development, what you guys need to do is to write proposal to create a budget and a department for the development of African spirituality. You guys need to create a budget. All of us need to do this thing. In order to preserve it and to modernize it, we must create budgets for this under the title of research and development. The budget will take at least 10 or 20% of any fund, any money that is coming to that community. At least 20% should go to research and development. Many people don't see the importance of research and development. If not for research that I have been doing into African spirituality, I will not be able to come here today to be talking about so many things on this YouTube channel. I do a lot of research into African spirituality. I don't just talk about it. I actually compile information. I have lots of informations, lots of herbs, spells, compounds, different things that I have come across. I document all these things. That is why I can tell you. That's why I put so many things on this video for people to see. We have a whole wealth of knowledge that have not even been scratched yet. Many people have many knowledge, and many of this knowledge have died out. Old people with nobody to pass on the knowledge to because the young people are not interested. They die with those secrets. Many people have gone with many secrets in the past, powerful spells that they could not pass on to the next generation. The youths are not interested. Christianity have told them that everything from African spirituality is fetish and evil. So these things just waste. So for us to revive it, we need to actually pour money into it too. We must create budget for it under R&D, and we must start compiling. Once you create this budget, you give it to your king or your community's leaders. You have to make them see reason why this is necessary. And I believe many of them, they will see reason. Young people are running away from African spirituality because they don't understand it. Nobody have been able to tell them the importance and the necessity for this. So that's why you can see all these criminal pastors will be going to villages with full boldness to be burning down shrines, claiming that shrines are evil places, because the shrines are not, nobody is supporting them, nobody's developing, or no, they are not seeing the positive results of what these shrines are supposed to be doing. If our money is being poured in, what will happen is that we will be building better temples. Those places that you see that are just open access, any animal, any Tom, Dick, and Harry can walk in, they will be modernized. From that money, we will build modern temples. These modern buildings will contain, of course, most modern temples. Where you come to Korea, you come to Thailand. I was in Thailand for 8 years. Any of their temples you go, you're going to see that they have computers inside. They have internet. Same thing in China. Same thing in South Korea. I have been there. You go to their temples, you're going to see internet. They have libraries. Then they have books. You're going to see a lot of books. Some of them even have lodge in case you want to sleep. You want to come there to study. They have rooms that you can rent. Then they will give you access to their library. You just be reading, learning about their culture, their history and tradition, everything you want to know. They have a lot of books, and they have a lot of spells, quantum physics, plasma. You'll be shocked the kind of books you're going to find in the temple. You cannot call it fetish with the way you see they have packaged it, they have presented themselves. It is like a whole university setting on their own. You're going to see their deities there, beautifully displayed. You're going to see different type of deities there. You're going to see everything well, everywhere is neat. People pay in to go. It's not like tourists. Their temples are like tourist places. Anybody that wants to come in, you pay, and that money is also used for maintenance. It's used for maintenance of the temple, cleaning of the temple, paying of staffs. People do make donations. People do different things. The priests, they're used for that money to eat. Yes, priests eat. I eat. Maybe one day I will drink beer on this channel. Some people think that I don't eat, that I don't need money. I need money. I pay house rent. I pay taxes in like 3 countries. People don't know. They think as a spiritualist that you don't need money. I don't understand people. I even need money more than many people. So you live life. So you need to find a way of generating income. It is very, very important. So you can only generate income when you add value to what you are doing. Okay? When you add value, when people come, they see that what you are doing is making sense. You are actually doing some work here. It will attract donations to you. It will attract the funds that you need. It will attract grants. So this is the things we need to do with African spirituality. We need to make budget, create budgets for it at community level, at the village level, any level we find ourselves. We need to create this research and development budget. So we need to start modernizing these shrines. You can put an AC there, or you don't want to put an AC. You put fan, you put electricity in the place. Let it be clean. Then you start compiling lists of spells, all the herbs in the village, the various herbs, what they use them for treating. You start writing on it. Writing all this, you can use it to show people. When people come to see, they say, what is this shrine doing? What is the work? You can be able to bring your materials and say, see, this is what we have compiled so far. We have been able to catalog all the herbs in this village, all the herbs around, all the compounds, and what we use it for. People can carry the research forward. Okay, we compile all these things. With that, you can even use it to even seek for more money. You can be able to take that proposal, you go and show it to the king, show it to government officials that, see, this is what we are doing. We are researching this thing in order to move it forward. When people see that you are actually collating stuff like this, they will support you. This is what we need to do. You will see many shrines in Africa. You ask them to tell you solutions for spell, they will not tell you anything. They cannot. Everything is hidden, secrets to them, because they don't want to share knowledge. They want you to come to meet them for every simple thing that you want, so that they believe they can make more money from you. But many people will not want to give money to a place that they cannot benefit anything from. Okay? Many people like me, I will not want to donate money to somewhere that I am not getting any benefit from. That's the way I see it. But our people don't know. This secrecy that we have in African spirituality is another problem that is hindering the development. When everything is hidden from people understanding it, it now breeds corruption, or it brings this breed of scammers and fraudulent practitioners, because it's so hidden that people don't even understand what is going on. There's a lot of ignorance and misinformation and misconceptions in the topic. So any Tom, Dick, and Harry can just come out and say it's a practitioner and say any trash, and most people will believe him. So many people, we have so many of these dubious people coming in due to the nature of African spirituality. I believe the only way we can move it forward is by actually throwing light on the subjects, by talking about it, by exposing things out for people, so that a lot of people will know what is going on. And when people know what is going on, they have better understanding. I believe they will be more willing to support it, to support its growth for future generations. If we take the example of the ancient Kushites, the ancient Egyptians, why is their spirituality still surviving till today? Because they took this approach. They wrote a lot of stuff down. It's like they were just writing from morning to night. Any empty space, they must write on it. Any empty space, any temple, anything they build, they must make sure that they cover it in writing. It's like they knew that a day will come whereby our people will forget all these things, or we are going to get lost, or we are going to be overrun by these evil people. A day is coming that everything will end. So they were just writing and writing and writing and writing and writing and writing till they covered almost every piece of rock with knowledge. You see that knowledge we are scrubbing today? That is the knowledge people are learning today to know, to move forward. So we need to write stuff down. We as spiritualists need to write books on African spirituality. Many of our people don't write anything down. They are so into secrecy. Many of them have been initiated by wrong spiritualists that tell them that before I will teach you anything, you must keep secrets. This so-called secrecy is a major problem that is killing it. Okay? If I have said, okay, I will not talk about this, many people will be lost. Me talking about this subject today is bringing interest. The channel is growing. A lot of people now have a better understanding of African spirituality due to me talking about the subject. Even fellow spiritualists, they are also benefiting. We are all growing together. So we need to be talking about these subjects. There's nothing for us to hide. Who are we hiding? The people we are hiding it for, they already know this stuff. The white people, you say, no, we don't want them. They still know this stuff. Do you see any black? Have you seen a black Egyptologist once? It's only white people that are digging there. They don't also allow black people to dig Egypt. They are taking it over because they want to study our knowledge. They want to know this thing. They know that this is the cradle of civilization. So the secrets we are even hiding, they already know it. They know it. They are studying it for themselves, hiding it from us. We need to study our own things by ourselves. So we need to talk about it. So we need more teachers who will teach this subject. In the whole of Nigeria now, there is no single university that have a department for research and development into African spirituality. No place. I don't think there's any school in Nigeria that you say, if I want to learn African spirituality, where can they teach me? The only places that will teach you are some shrines you're going to see, maybe in the southern part of Nigeria, Yoruba land, that you say they will teach you, but they have to initiate you. Some of these places, the money they charge for initiation is astronomical. And the painful part, they don't even teach the people anything. That is what is even paining me. I'm not saying you should not charge money. If you feel that your teaching is worth 10,000, by all means charge 10,000, but let it have value to the life of the person. If you're going to charge expensive money for teaching, whatever you are teaching is supposed to have value and it's supposed to be worth it. Okay, that is the way it needs to be worth it. So nobody is really teaching this subject. I have come to see that there's a serious gap, communication gap, transfer of knowledge, lack of research and development. This is what is killing it. That is why I took it upon myself that I will be teaching these subjects, because I see that many people want to learn, but they don't even have access to to accurate knowledge. They don't have access to it because no place is even providing it. This is the so-called traditionalists and practitioners that we are having. Many of them don't even know about African spirituality. They don't even know African history, for crying out loud. These are people that you'll be seeing doing spells in the name of Jesus, praying with Bible. Can you imagine? People that they are totally offline, off cue. Very funny kind of people. Elders that don't know history, they don't know anything. How can they teach? You cannot teach what you don't know. You cannot give what you don't have. I have said it many times. So we need to learn this thing by ourselves. We need to train ourselves. Part of the reason I say I will teach people, I focus more on teaching than doing spells. Because if I teach you this stuff, I know that you know it permanently and you can transfer this knowledge to the next person. The knowledge will not die. You transfer it to the next generation. But if I continue doing spells for you, I'll be making money. But of course, you will not be knowing anything. It's better for you to learn how to do this thing by yourself. Or don't you think that is the right way? But some people too, they are like penny wise, pound foolish. They think that they don't have time. That time that you don't have is going to cost you a lot of things in the future. It's going to cost you a lot of things. So what I am saying here is that you have to invest in yourself. Invest in this knowledge. You're learning this African spirituality is you investing in the knowledge, the money that you pay to learn. Though it's little money for now, but I know that I will increase it in the future because I know that what I'm putting out there have value. But I know many African people too don't still have money, especially in Africa, in Nigeria, they don't even have money. Even this money I put, many of them still cannot pay it. It's like that. So what are we going to do? We need to find a way. But I want you to know that part of you growing these things to invest in yourself. You learning this knowledge is an investment. The investment is not only in this lifetime, it's for all eternity. This is a knowledge that you will learn, it will affect not only your life, but the life of everybody around you, especially your children, the younger generations. You are going to impact this knowledge into them, to transfer this knowledge, to make sure that this problem that our parents kept us in, our parents introduced us into Christianity, we will not introduce them into Christianity. We will break that chain, that curse of ignorance, curse of original sin. We are going to cut it off, so it will not pass on to our children. So this is not a waste of money. Some people see this thing as a waste of money. It is actually an investment, a lifetime investment for all eternity. Okay, that will bring liberation, empowerment, enlightenment, and prosperity to you and your future generations. So we need to invest in African spirituality by investing in ourselves. People like me that bring ourselves out now, when you make payment to me, the money is not waste, it's doing something for me. Part of that money, I am using it to engage in further research. I use some of them to engage in further research into this subject, to bring this stuff out, to tell you guys. I also have time to do many things. I have time to study. I have time to bring more awareness, to move further. You too also learn lots of things that you don't know before. You get exposure, you get access to many things about African spirituality that you will not get anywhere else. So it brings value to your life. It brings power to your life. It brings greater control. It brings prosperity. We both win. We win together. Okay. Once you know this knowledge, you know it. There's no unknowing it. Once you don't know it, you don't know it. So you learning this thing is an investment. in yourself, which is helping to grow African spirituality. It is growing it. And I am growing, you are growing, everybody around you is growing. This is what we need to be doing. This is why we even need more teachers. I cannot do this work alone. To be honest, I know that I will not, when people will start to come on this channel, I know I will not have time. I cannot do it alone. So I need more people. That is why I'm teaching people, so that within the next 5 years, we have so many people that know this stuff. Okay? A lot of people will make money from this. Not only about me, money will come. Yes, but we need to do the work first. I know that money will come in the future. When many of these our people in the church open their eyes, they are going to pour into African spirituality, looking for people like us to teach them. And we'll be here waiting for them. Okay? So it's not something that is going to bring prosperity for everybody. As far as you practice it well, it will benefit you, benefit your future generations, benefit our people too that will be coming in. So it is something that we should not look that we are wasting money or we are wasting time. Okay? You are not wasting time here. This discussion we are having, not many people have been able to think about this level yet. Many spiritualists they're not there yet. So as you are on this channel, we are taking it forward. We are inventing the future with African spirituality. By investing in this subject, you are inventing your own future. This is what we are doing here. Okay, so it starts from the mind. So we must find way to create budget for it. Any capacity we find ourselves, we must research and develop African spirituality. You learning about it is part of the research and development. You are improving yourself. You are moving yourself forward, moving your generation forward. Okay, we must seek to build modern temples to attract the youth, the young people of today. Everybody now, this is the technological generation. This new generation, they want everything to be open. They want to see clearly. They want to know what they are doing. They want to be able to have access to knowledge. So we cannot hide them out. We need to open it up for them to have access to it. These are our young children. We have to open African spirituality to them. They will not accept this kind of practice the way our so-called Western practitioners are doing this secrecy nonsense. Many, I don't think my future generation will accept that nonsense. So we need to open African spirituality up for those that are interested. By this, we need to modernize our temples. We must build modern temples. We must upgrade. Those ones that are just open down, we need to build houses for them. We need to be cleaning our temples. We should not be piling up bones and dirty things from shrine. We need to write books. If you are a practitioner, try to write at least one book. I have written one book. My book is there. If you ask me to explain what I am practicing, I can be able to explain it to you. If you are a practitioner, compile your spells, write at least one book. I am planning to write another book, but that book is going to be so heavy. I want to write a book on plasma physics. And I don't think many spiritualists, many people have not even gotten to that level yet. And that book is going to be very, very dangerous. Because what I'll be talking, there are things that is time travel. I'll be talking about things that you will use to make engines, free generator engines that can run forever, not fuel engine. I'm talking about we'll be talking about plasma engine, plasma capacitors, plasma accelerators. These are what we use to build jet engines that you can use to travel space and beyond. It's going to be high level stuff. I don't think many people are ready for those kind of things here. That's why I'm still holding that book. That's the kind of book that when you write it, everybody will come in after you. CIA, FBI, everybody will be after you because it's high power stuff. I cannot write a book that is like I'm regurgitating what other people have written down. I want to write a book that will invent the future. So many people, they are not ready for that kind of knowledge yet. And the time and energy it will take from me, it is much. So instead of me focusing that, I need to focus on what people can be able to use right now. That is why I'm still leaving that book. I will write the book, but not now. I need to get enough people first. I need to focus on other people and allow them to catch up. That book will not be useful to many Africans now. Person never shop finish. I want to read that kind of thing. You need what to help you now. Okay, the only people that will benefit from that kind of book are the people that we don't want to benefit from it. That those people will benefit from that kind of book. Even many of the so-called Western spiritualists, they never even reached that level yet. Many of them are still on quantum physics. But I have gone beyond quantum physics. I am now at the level of plasma physics. Many of them don't even know what is plasma physics. I go on their channel, I just look them. From what they are talking, I know the level of spirituality they are operating from. So I am like 5 steps ahead of many people. If I don't do research into African spirituality, I will not know all these things. If I don't read, I don't study, I will not know all these things. Okay? So it is because I've been there before. That's why I can talk about it, that this is what we need to do. We need to prepare for the future. Okay? Forget about this, our traditionalists. Many of them, these are our elders, our kings. Many of them don't know anything. They are just there like figureheads, playing dress up. They don't know anything. So we need to work on ourselves. We as a youth, we need to make our own decision. We need to invent our own future. We should not and must not follow their footsteps because they don't have this brain that we have. These things I'm talking about, they don't know it. If they know it, they would have been doing it. They don't know it. So this is what we need to do. We need to deviate from this nonsense they are practicing of tradition. Tradition is not spirituality, okay? Tradition is separate from spirituality. We need to know the difference. We need to extract the science from the tradition and focus on the science. That is what I do. And that is what you need to do if you know that you want to grow. If you know that you want to be better than these people, if you know that you want to go further, you want to impact and affect your generation positively, you need to deviate from their system because many of them have lost their way. And there's no going back for them. Sorry. We just have to wait for them to die, then we bury them. Okay? So we don't need to follow what they are doing. We must invest in the future in order to invent the future. So we must create budgets. Create budgets for our community. We must talk to the people in charge, tell them why these budgets are necessary. We must compile materials. We must write books. We must write treatises. We must write journals on our findings. We must be seen to be doing the work. We must talk about these subjects. We must come online, come on YouTube, social media, any media we have to reach out to people, explain what we are doing, reach out to people the way I'm doing it. So bring more awareness to the subjects, draw people attention into it, and engage them positively to move them forward. This is the only way we can be able to grow and wake up African spirituality. The way it is being practiced now, it is not going anywhere. It is on a sick bed because of these people that have lost their way. We should not follow them. Okay. So it's very, very important. I hope that you guys will be able to see reason with me. It will throw light on the subjects. Okay. It will throw light on the subjects. And it's going to bring a lot of benefit for us. People will respect us more. When they see us as spiritualists, people will respect you more. When you can explain what you are doing, when you have solutions to their problems, when you can back it with academic research. When people come, what are you practicing here? They're insulting you. You will bring your findings and show them. Even these so-called pastors, when they see that you are doing it like this, they will respect you. Nobody can come to say that you are doing fetish thing, you are doing evil thing. When they see that you have academic work, you have written books, they cannot talk, they cannot insult you. You can sue them for defamation of character. You will win the case. They will respect you anytime they see you because they know what you are doing. They will see the impact you are making. Even doctors are on this my channel. People that are doing research into herbs and plants, a lot of them are on this channel. They respect me because they know that I try to make it very, very clear and simple to understand. If you come out like this, I don't see why people will not support you. It will attract a lot of young people to you. It will be seen as the progressive. This is the way we need to do to move African spirituality forward. So it's important that we create budgets. Anywhere you are, any village, any capacity you have, we must find way to start reviving, developing it, throwing more light into it. That is the only way I see that this thing will grow. Okay, so please, this is my observations. So I don't know how you can try to adopt it. After building these temples, you can put open it out for tourism, put payment. People want to come to your shrine, they pay a token, they go in. Many people will come, and if they see everything is well presented, people will be taking pictures there the way we do it in Thailand. when we go to these places, we snap pictures inside, tag ourselves. You'll be proud to tag yourself that this place is worth visiting in. I have been to this shrine, I've been to that shrine. You take pictures of the deities, take pictures of the environment, you make it comfortable, beautify the place, make it cool, or something people want to identify. But when you go to most of our shrines now, you'll be afraid to even snap picture. I was talking to one guy, it's not day before yesterday. He approached me from Nigeria, talking about the deity that he made contact with, how the deity is working for him. I have not heard about that deity before. So I was asking that, can you show me a picture of this deity? He said that he's afraid to snap the deity's picture and put it on the internet or on his Facebook because he's afraid that the deity will do something bad to him. This is the notion that many of our people have, that if we expose African spirituality, people will die. The spirit don't like that. From my own experience, spirits, every deity wants to be known. Every deity wants their name to be called. Immediately you call a spirit name, you are inviting them to your presence. If you don't want a deity, don't call their name. Spirits want to be known. The currency in spirituality is attention and time. It's not money. We humans have limited time on this planet, okay? But these deities, they have all the time that they need, but they need to manifest themselves on this physical plane. So they want us to give them their time. That's why you see that there are so many countless religions in the world today. Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Confucianism, so many spirits are out there. What are they fighting for? Everybody's fighting for attention. The more followers you have, the more power you have on this planet. So every spirit out there want to be known and want to be mentioned. They want to reign. If a spirit is not mentioned, is not known, they die. Yes, spirits die, gods die. There are many gods that have died in the past. When people stop worshiping them, people stop venerating them, they will disappear. So every deity want to be known. They want to be talked about. The more we talk about them, the more they come into this physical plane. So I don't see why any deity will kill you for talking about them. They will even be happy. So, but in West Africa, they will give this impression that if you talk about the deity in public, something bad will happen to you. This mentality is killing African spirituality in West Africa. Many people are afraid of identifying. People are now practicing African spirituality out of fear instead of love. If you're practicing out of fear, I don't think it will work well for you. It will not work to the full capacity. It is something you need to practice out of love. We need to be proud of our deity. We need to be proud of our spirituality. But if you are not proud of it, then something is wrong. It's either you are ashamed or you have been misinformed. So a lot of deities want to be mentioned. I don't normally talk about some deities because I don't want to give them popularity. So there are some spirits I purposely not to talk about, especially if I don't like them or if I don't know their origin. It's not so clear. Like many of these Western Gothic spirits, I don't call their names on my channel. Okay, before I will mention your name in this channel as a spirit, you must be worthy of mentioning. You must have done something great for humanity. You must be seen to be moving our consciousness forward. Only the kind of spirits I can call their name. If it's one of those bad spirits that are here to do evil, I will not mention you because I don't want you to grow. I don't want people to know about you. Yes. There are some spirits that when I mention them, the next day they come to me. Like when I do that video on Dambala, my Dambala video, Dambala was very happy with me. He came to me the next day, he even taught me something that I will use, gave me a formula. I'm going to do a video on that in the future. He gave me a formula to use in making my pack stronger. Just by doing a video on Dambala, talking about Dambala and mentioning Dambala on this channel, he was very, very happy. He came to me, gave me a gift that you can use this as part of your empower your spiritual practice. Okay, so I don't see any deity that will be sad when people mention them, except that they have evil intention or they hate humanity so much or they are here to destroy humanity. I think all of them want to be known. All of them want exposure. Okay, so we should not be afraid of talking. If you like the deity and you showcase the deity, When people know about it, they start talking to people, they start coming into people's dreams, coming into people's consciousness, start acting. That is what all of them want. That is what I believe. That is my own experience. So I don't think this secrecy thing, people are taking it to a whole lot of level. It's because of this too much secrecy that we have so many scammers and criminals in African spirituality. I believe if we throw enough light on this subject, many of these bad people cannot function because there will be nowhere for them to hide. When I know the practice, you know the practice, everybody know the fundamentals. Who do you want to scam? How can you say one deity said that he's going to bring a cow? If you don't bring a cow, you die within 7 days. What other nonsense is that? Because you are hungry. All those things will stop. Okay? People can know how to do offerings by themselves, do basic rites by themselves, do many things by themselves. They don't need to go through a middleman. You can only go through a priest. Maybe you don't have time to do the thing. There are some times maybe I meet other spiritualists too, even as I'm here. There are some spells I want to do. I may not have the time to do it. I may be very, very busy, or I don't have the material. I can subcontract it to somebody else that have the time. Okay, money will still come to you. They are afraid that if they talk about the secret, they will not have money anymore. You will still have money. If you are called to do this practice, you will still survive. It is not by enslaving people, tying down people's destiny, close to you that you will have money. Okay, if it's not your destiny to have money, you will still not have money. You will do that evil. You can make some money, of course, but you will have bad name. By the time you start doing these evil things to people, when people discover your character, they will run away from you. You will end up poor at the end of the day because you have a reputation for doing evil to people. Okay, so you talking about things does not mean that people will not come to you. I do a lot of open spells on this channel. People still contact me. Some people just love what I do. They want to support me. Not that they cannot do it by themselves. Or other spiritualists, they still support me. People help me. People are helping. Some spiritualists, they support me. I have backing. People donate to me. Not that they cannot do it by themselves, but they just want to support me out of love. People do it. I also support other people as well. If I see what you are doing, I support you. I try to make contact with you. Try to become your friend or try to support your own work too. This is what we do to grow. Okay, this is what we need to be doing in African spirituality. So by throwing more light on this subject, we are actually growing the subject. We are actually talking about how to move it forward. So we need more things like this. We need more seminars. We need more teachers. Okay, we need more teachers out there. This is the way we can grow. Open it up. We need to include African spirituality into tourism. And bring tourism into it, bring research and development into it, bring academic into it, do seminars, symposium, invite people from other walks of life. You can invite doctors, businessmen, regular people. When they come to the seminar, you showcase what you have been doing. You tell them about your research. Tell them about different herbs and what they do. Tell them the purpose. Tell them why they need to invest, why we need to upgrade, why we need to build modern temples, why we need to upgrade our spirituality. When we begin to talk about this subject, they will see reason with us and they will support us. They will not see us like evil people, like ritualists, or just group us into the same category with those same bad people. They will know these people are different. We are doing something to move it forward. Okay, so this is what we need to do. Anything that we put our time and energy must grow. So we need to focus our time, our energy into African spirituality if we want it to grow. Okay, this is the only way it will survive. Unless we go this way, it will continue to be on the sick beds the way it is now, where all sort of Tom, Dick, and Harry's, maggot, scallywag are eating off the corpse of African spirituality because it is sick. That's why we have so many useless people online talking trash on YouTube, claiming to be doctors and professors, people that did not even go to school. They don't have one single certificate, calling themselves Dr. this, Dr. that on YouTube. Total stark illiterates. And you educated person, you're taking instruction from this kind of people, calling themselves prophet, this and that, or useless scumbags. Is because we don't throw light on the subjects. Okay, that's why these people are striving. If we go up this way, We are going to wipe these people out because nobody will listen to them anymore. They will see them for what they are. So this is what we need to do, okay? So I believe I have said enough on this subject today. We're almost in 15 minutes now. Any questions? If you have any questions, please say it now before I go, okay? In the event of no questions, I will be ending this live chat for now. So I'm very grateful. I want to thank you guys for joining me. It's been a pleasure. And for those people that have been supporting my channel, I am very, very grateful. This is part of us moving African spirituality forward. Okay, I thank you people for joining this discussion. I want you to also do this thing to discuss with other practitioners. Tell them that they need to invest. So we need to grow this thing to modernize it. It is dying. Okay, we need to write books. We need to expose the topic. We need to create budget for it at every level so that we can move it forward. We will not follow these so-called traditionalists that have failed us and that are still continuing to fail us. So we need to chart a new course in order to invent our future. So with that being said, I wish you a wonderful day. My book is still available for sale. You can contact me if you want to do any